As you see from the title, I'm on my way to Rio de Janeiro, but I will only be staying for a few days. Then after that, I'll be exploring new cities that I always wanted to visit. Now, you get the question sometimes of what city should I visit being a first timer coming to Brazil? And my answer is always Rio de Janeiro. Why? It's because everything is there. You have nightlife there, you have the beach life there. Also, you have the famous landmarks. The famous landmarks that everybody wants to see is in Rio de Janeiro. Nowhere else but in Rio. That's the famous steps that you probably seen in the Pharrell and Snoop Dogg video. Also, there's the big Jesus statue, which is the Christ the Redeemer. That's in Rio de Janeiro. So that's why you want to visit Rio first. Then you explore different states and cities, and then you make your conclusion of what do you like best or better. And I'm pretty sure Rio is going to be one, or it's going to be in your top five. Either or, it's going to be your number one or in your top five. Now, as you see from this video, I'm on my way to Barra da Tijuca. And the reason I choose Baja is because it's far, far, far away from tourism. Most of the tourism is in Copacabana. That's where the tourists go. So I want to avoid the tourist trap and go outside of that. So Baja is probably 35-40 minutes away, depending on traffic, away from Copacabana. So that's almost an hour away. So you're probably thinking, well, what's there? There's nothing there. That's my point. I've been coming to Brazil since 2008. So I have lots of friends there, so it's never a boring day for me. But in Baja, you do have shopping centers. There's two shopping centers in Baja. One of my favorite is called Baja Shopping. That's a shopping mall in Barra da Tijuca. How is the safety in Baja? Well, my opinion, Baja compared to Copa, I think Baja is just a little bit more safer than Copa. For the sole reason is all the tourists is in Copa. So think like a criminal. Where can I make the most money? Where can I steal the most things? Tourists? Copa. So that's another reason I don't stay in Copa. But like my Brazilian friend said back in 2008, welcome to Brazil. Taking of the cell phone, robberies, and crime just doesn't happen in Rio de Janeiro. It happens in our whole country. So you got to be safe at all times. Expect the unexpected. Not just at nighttime, but any time of the day. Like I said, I've been traveling to Brazil since 2008, so I've seen lots of crazy things happen in the daytime. So don't be scared just at night. You got to be scared in the daytime too. But don't make your decisions based on crime, because crime happens worldwide. But I'm just saying, my opinion, Copa things happen more often just because it's more tourists there. So think like a criminal. Tourists, it's easy. They don't speak my language. I can take things. I can run back to wherever I live, and they'll never know. They can't make a police report because they can't even speak my language. So think like them. So that's where most of the crime happen, in my opinion, is in that area compared to Baja. So that's another reason I stay in Baja compared to Copacabana or Ipanema. I learned about Baja back in 2008, my first time visiting Brazil for Carnival. Back then, the most popular search engine was Yahoo.com, and it had said that Copacabana is the place to stay for tourists. So that's exactly what I did. I reserved a hotel on the beach in Copacabana. And on arrival, my first time there, what I was thinking was I need to explore the city, but first I need to eat. So after getting a taxi going to the shopping mall near there, which is called Rio Sul, which means South River, or you can say Rio Sul, depending whether or not you know the language. If you visited before, you know there's an underpass, there's a tunnel that takes you to and from the mall or the beach or wherever you're trying to go to. Now, on my way to my hotel, I decided to stop by the beach and just take it all in. I'm finally in Brazil. I want to people watch a little bit. And I met a young lady that we exchanged email addresses. to stay in contact, but we did get a chance to meet later on for dinner. And she had said that next time I come to Brazil, do not stay in the hotel, stay with her. I don't have to worry about food. So coming back to America, thinking about what she had said, 3 months later, I'm back in Brazil and I'm staying with her. And the first beach that she took me to was Barra. That's how I learned.
Sim. Eu visitei aqui muitas vezes. 2008, 2009, 2010, muito, assim.
Quase carioca.
Assim. Aqui e também Rio das Pedras, freguesia, muitos lugares aqui.
I'm going to show you my apartment in Baja, show you the balcony view of the beach right here. But also I want to go back to my story in 2008, a time of no translation apps and no smartphones. All we had back then was internet cafes. So what we would do is we would go to different internet cafes in her favela, because she lived in a favela, and we would just translate back and forth of things that we plan on doing the next day, big events we had planned, or arguments that we may have had and didn't understand. We would use Yahoo to translate back and forth. I don't know what happened with Yahoo, but back then Yahoo was very popular. I don't know how Google became the #1 search engine, but yeah, Yahoo was very popular back then. Also, in 2008, I had never heard or seen the movie City of Gods. City of Gods came out in 2002 in Brazil. It didn't become popular in the US probably until, I don't know, maybe 2011 or 2012, when they got translated and subtitled for other markets besides Portuguese speaking countries. But I didn't see City of Gods until maybe like 3-4 years after my first visit. And after seeing that movie, it kind of changed my view of staying with a person in a favela, because at the time I did not know that City of Gods was only 20 minutes away from where I was staying. So it was very close. The only thing was that the favela that she stayed in was considered a very weak favela, meaning of drug trafficking, compared to other favelas that were surrounded by hers, one of them being City of Gods. And I'm kind of glad I didn't see that movie until after many visits to Brazil, staying with her, because during those visits I did gain cultural experience and things that I would have never gained if I would have stayed in a hotel. So I am happy that I did gain that experience, but looking back, that was very dangerous, because anything could have happened. I didn't know the language. I was a foreigner. It could have been a setup. Anything could have happened, but it didn't. Thank God. But I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that, especially these times of days, because it's even more dangerous, I think, than it was back then. Most people in the favela date within their favela. Not all, but most. So just imagine me visiting and staying with her in 2008, my first time, and not knowing that she dated lots of people in her favela. I'm not saying this will happen to me, but I'm just saying for an example. If she dated multiple men in her favela, right? And now you have this one guy that's super jealous and angry of the breakup, and now he sees me with her. And now the plot is to rob or shoot me. Whose fault is it? It's my fault for putting myself in that situation. So that's why I don't suggest going to favelas in Brazil unless it's a tour. If it's not a tour, going to a favela and actually staying there or hanging out there for long periods of time or going every day, it's up to you, but I don't think it's a good idea. Also, I hear people say, well, I blend in, I'm black, so they think I'm a black Brazilian, or I'm white and they think I'm a white Brazilian. Well, that's true, but on the other hand, you gotta think about, they lived in the favela their whole lives, so you're not from that favela. They can just look at you and they know that he's not or she's not from here, what favela he's from or what favela she's from. So that could be a problem. You got to think about that. They lived there their whole lives. Even though you're black or white and you blend in, you don't blend in because they know you don't live there. So that could be a super problem also, and that's something you got to think about when visiting a favela. So over the next few days or week, some of my video topics will be about getting a SIM card in Brazil. Of course, I will be grocery shopping, so I will be talking about foods. Also, I will be moving to another apartment, which is basically down the street. The reason for the switch or move is that the first apartment that I chose was reserved for the time that I would be in Brazil, in Rio. So that's why the apartment you see now is only temporarily. Then after that, I will make a move very soon. And last, I will be talking about fitness in Brazil. So stay tuned.